r/AskReddit. Have you ever felt you don't know/have forgotten who you really are? That you've spent years just adapting to surroundings to make life easier and don't know what's the real you anymore? If so, how did you overcome this? There's probably no real you that exists across time. That's just a thing you built up when you were younger to give yourself a stable identity and core values. The you now is just as real as the you then. We all adapt our surroundings and change to make our lives easier. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If you're unhappy with your life now, you can adapt by changing. You need to believe that, and you probably know it since it seems to be something you're afraid of. But this is the real you now, and you need to focus on the needs of that person, not some idealized phantom from the past. This is exactly what I needed to hear. Literally moved to a completely new city all by myself yesterday. I know no one, but I know I just have to give myself enough time and I know I'll settle in just fine. Nashville is a place I've always wanted to live. The music, the street lights, and the ability to get lost in the crowd. I honestly feel like I'm in a dream. I don't know what to do or even how to actually move into this big city. I'm just learning everything on the fly and have no idea what I'm even doing sometimes. Thankfully, my super amazing instincts kicked in and now it feels like I'm living two personalities. One being Instinct Moshka who makes the decisions about where I need to go next, where to search for an apartment, where to eat food, where to travel etc. and then the normal, me, Moshka who now just sits back and enjoys the ride. If you see a scrawny Indian kid with a beard walking across downtown Nashville today looking clueless, it'd probably be me. Might not be the answer you're looking for. It seems that when I'm alone with my thoughts at night, I can't help but come back to who I am, no matter what facade I put on during the day. This keeps me from forgetting for weeks at a time, let alone years, and I think it is actually a healthy habit so that I don't lose touch with myself. If the real me is when I'm alone with my thoughts at night, I'm fucked. I'm in this comment and I don't like it. I don't know. At night I just pretend I'm a time traveler and relive all the bullying incidents that happened in the past and fight them all, but this time with me having the ability to slow freeze time. Zawarudo Toki wo Toma. r/unexpected JoJo. Live alone. It forces you to decide what you like to eat, how you want to eat, how you spend your downtime. It forces you to define who you are. Sometimes that's a fast food eating couch potato, but eventually that gets boring. Then is when you begin experimenting with other things. Cooking, going out, asking yourself, what do I want to do? When you learn who you are, you become confident. What happens if you never get bored of the fast food eating couch potato? Then that's either who you are, or you should get some therapy to figure out why you're in a rut and how to get out of it. I don't like either of those answers, but they both probably true. God, I know, right? I'm actually getting therapy for that second option. Thought I was just a boring asshole, but I've actually just been avoiding a ton of crap in my brain. It's been driving me crazy. It's not fun, and having to face yourself is scary as shit, but I'm breathing freer already. Letting go of the things that'll keep you on the sofa is a goddamned revelation. Mental health is so damn important. If you think there's a chance you're option 2, talk to someone. We only get a couple of decades here. You don't want to get to the end of them and realize you were miserable all along. I immigrated to the States from Europe and got lost. Now my memories of my life in Germany are fading, but I remember being so much happier with my job and hobbies and friends and only crying once or twice a year when something really sad happened, while now I cry once a week. I am thinking about going back. Thanks for sharing this. It's stupid, but I feel better knowing that I am not the only one. I, too, moved to the States from Asia, for a better life they say. I don't remember much, but I remember that I was happy. I have a big community of friends and family. I don't remember having a meal by myself there. I can't even imagine it. Now, if I am lucky, I have dinner with my friends once a week. Not their fault, they are just busy with their own family now. Part of that is also just growing up, I think. Being an adult kinda sucks. When you're younger you're always surrounded by friends and family and you tend to only remember the good parts about being younger even though some bad stuff may have been happening at the time too. Make sure you aren't just feeling what everyone feels about their younger years. Felt like everyone was happy, the world didn't have significant problems and no big personal issues. But that is just because kids are sheltered from big issues, and they aren't very concerned about them. Plus the lack of responsibility opens up extra time to play. I had this feeling for all my life after puberty. There were these high ideals that I always maintained and couldn't live up to them. Mostly because they were about saving the world and unattainable things like that. I spent an absurd amount of my teenage years studying philosophy and religion rather than dealing with teenage social issues like my peers. Ever since I was a kid, I had this goofy side though. When I wasn't pulling my hair out reading about semiotics, I would write silly stories to make people laugh. When I went to college, things changed. I began exhibiting some really dangerous behavior patterns, especially for someone with a huge conscience like myself. The line between my public and private life got larger. I began feeling I could no wrong. I don't really want to list some of the things I did here because of shame. But suffice it to say, you would have all hated college me. I'm going to skip to the end and just say this all got worse until I woke up one day and all my lightheartedness was gone. I was working a high-paying meaningless job. I'd cheated on everyone I dated and thrown away every romantic relationship, some very painfully. My life had become all about money, sex, and status. The biggest epiphany of my life was realizing two things. 1. Everyone goes through some form of this. We all try on different faces. If we find one that doesn't fit, we still tend to cling to it so that we don't have to change our current comfort level. This phase is normal and human. 2. I was bipolar. Manic. My post-puberty life was punctuated by periods of unbelievable energy and increasingly risky behavior. It put me on top. There were years where I had fans. I got up on stage and gave speeches and made people laugh and was the center of attention. And later it landed me in jail because the center cannot hold. But with that diagnosis I finally was able to figure out my history and why I could never live up to those ideals. Because grandiosity is a textbook manic symptom too. These days I don't push myself to do any more than love my family and enjoy the little things. I've lived more than most people do in a lifetime. I deserve a rest, at least for a little while. Sorry this is so long. The answer is that the normal cycle is to lose yourself for a little while and then find yourself again. Everyone has an existential crisis to some degree. You have to trust that this is normal and your real self is always there waiting for your return. How you return, that will be unique. A death in the family, jail, overdose, failed relationship, financial loss, you name it. Something has to touch you deeply and it will happen. In the natural course of things we all take a big hit sooner or later. I don't like to generalize but the 20s are a time when people tend to drift away from themselves. After that it's really anyone's guess when you'll come back. But since you're asking this question, I say it will be sooner than later for you. I majored in film in college and it wasn't until my senior year that I realized I hated the work culture of the industry and didn't want to do it. Film had been my whole life since I was like 13 and I had kind of an existential crisis. I ended up finishing the degree I didn't want because I was so close. I ended up moving 1,000 miles away after graduation. I have a job I love, which gives amazing benefits and they will even completely pay for me to go back to school if I want, so I might try that soon. Quote. Was supposed to be a mechanic, but dad wanted a college graduate, so graphic design advertising it was. God, I hate this life. I've stuck with it but I dread every day, and it's too late to turn around. I'd run out of gas before the next exit. The cool thing about being a mechanic is that there really isn't any knowledge that is a secret within the industry. You just start working on stuff, and you learn through experience. Depends on what field and in which country. Difference between industrial mechanic or car mechanic or else, in many countries you need an apprenticeship. I suppose so. I'm speaking as an American mechanic that does work on auto, heavy duty, and construction equipment. Not much industrial besides my own stuff. Stop trying to please others and be who you are. Being who I am displeases others. You're a secret gigolo, aren't you? Fucking magnets. Whatever makes you happy. Thanks for watching everyone. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video.